Cutting to the chase here, I'm only covering the more significant movement tech and only what's possible current patch. Let's begin. So bunny hopping in this game is sort of a misnomer. They're technically lurch hops. When you land after being airborne, you'll lunge forward slightly, with an animation that coincides with it. By jumping right at the beginning of that lunge, you'll maintain it instead of your velocity being lost to ground friction. Also, it's important to mention that the height you fall from directly impacts how much speed you'll get from a bunny hop, which is why you'll see people double jump instead of immediately returning to the ground for another bunny hop. The ballista has recoil when you shoot it, and the speed from the recoil can be preserved by firing it mid-air, meaning ground friction isn't an issue there. This is one of, if not the most accessible ways to boost yourself in the game. You can pop one of these out just about anywhere. If you approach a ramp with a considerable amount of horizontal speed, it will get redirected if you place a well-timed jump. This is not timed the same as bee hopping. You'll want to be a bit late with it. On current patch, you can use scroll or use macros to land a ramp hop, although I wouldn't advise it because it's very easy for it to eat your double jump if any jump inputs occur outside of the jump extension zone. For pause boost, all you have to do is charge up either one of the weapon mods on the ballista, fire it, open the dossier, then go to the arsenal. Switch the ballista's current weapon mod, then exit the dossier. It should have fired a ballista shot. You can chain these to gain considerable velocity in any given direction. By getting on top of a caco demon, it will try to come towards you, and can't attack since it can't rotate its head vertically. It cannot push the player, so although it is actively coming towards you, it can't do anything. This is remedied by jumping so you can create distance. Land back on the caco demon and repeat the process. This tech is comically slow and tedious, though has the niche usage of being able to give the player theoretically infinite height. Due to the sheer amount of tech that use the dash, I'm treating this as one mega section with the individual techniques being split into subsections. This, like most of the tech on this list, involves interrupting the dash. In this case, you will attain vertical speed via slopes that are against a wall. There is no way to ascertain whether or not a surface is dash boostable just by looking at it, though you can push yourself into a surface, and if you're bobbing up and down, it typically means a dash boost is possible there, though not always. For this, you'll have to be mid-air, then dash into most walls at a 45-degree angle or lower. If you go above 45 degrees, your dash's velocity won't be redirected, and the closer you are to 45 degrees, the more of your velocity you'll maintain. Start by inching off a ledge. There is a point on the ledge where you are visually mid-air, but still on the geometry. After that, if you dash, you'll gain height. This happens because the collision on the edge of the geometry functions like a very steep slope leading into a wall. These are very precise to do if you're just backing up, so it's advised you use some sort of time slow, like the weapon wheel, inch off diagonally, using the destroyer blade's slower walking speed, or binding moving backwards to scroll wheel, and preferably having a low FPS hotkey to use in tandem with it. A similar principle to wall dashing. Here, you are exploiting the fact that the energy shield's hitbox is bigger than the Slayer's hitbox, so by skimming an enemy with the energy shield part of your hitbox, and having the Slayer hitbox not touch them, you can consistently maintain the full speed of your dash. You can also dash directly into enemies that the shield bash will kill upon contact, like fodder, or a really low health enemy. These are very similar, so I'll rope them in. A fade-in boost is performed by dashing shortly before you regain control of the Slayer after a death plane teleport. Regaining control cancels any current dash and refills your dash meter. Cutscene boosts function similarly. By dashing right before a cutscene triggers, you will have interrupted the dash, so when the cutscene is over, you maintain the full speed of the dash. Sort of like SR50 in classic Doom, if you dash diagonally in water, you'll go faster than if you were to dash in any cardinal direction. Some ramps, when dashed up, will let you maintain your full dash speed, and by a few I mean, like 2. Nobody really knows why they do that. If your frame rate is 30 or lower, your dashes will recharge mid-air. That is all. The speed when going directly forward with the meat hook is fixed. However, when going sideways, the speed is applied per frame, so if you have a high frame rate, you'll go faster. The meat hook can break due to sheer velocity, but if this does not automatically happen, then you'll want to break it manually by switching weapons or punching. A yeethook, though, specifically refers to a meat hook that is using a method of time slow, preferably the weapon wheel, so that you spend more frames on the hook, granting you immense speed. Doom Eternal has a mechanic called foot grabs, which exists to make platforming less painful by dragging you to the top of the ledge if you almost made the jump. It does this by giving you an incredible amount of velocity, which is frame dependent. More frames, more velocity. When you reach the top of a ledge, this speed is supposed to reset, although certain ledges for whatever reason don't reset this speed. This most commonly happens with rails, hence the name rail boosts. When you go to punch an enemy, you'll lunge towards them, towards a specific part of their hitbox referred to as the lunge point. The game redirects and locks your camera towards the enemy during this process. By holding a direction during your lunge, your speed will dramatically increase, preferably forward, since the game locks your camera towards the enemies anyways. So how do you maintain this speed? Well, the most prevalent way is by canceling the contact made with the enemy via level geometry. Additionally, you can get punch boost by punching a lunge point that has no collision in its way, like a caco demon shortly after being glory killed, or an arachnachon shortly after being chainsawed. Also, this tech is frame dependent, like almost everything else. You can also use time slow to assist in some punch boost use cases. Additionally, lunge points aren't exclusive to enemies. You can find them in things like punchable walls and meat hook nodes, although it's such an uncommon use case that I didn't bring it up until now. Starting from a grounded position, you want to dash, going airborne shortly afterwards, and having gravity applied to the dash by being 0.6096 meters off the ground. If at any point in the dash you go below the 0.6096 meter threshold and are still airborne, a 100 millisecond timer starts, and the game double checks if you're still below the threshold and airborne. If you are, you'll get 609.6 meters per second directly downwards, which can get redirected by the geometry below you, allowing you to go very high. There are situations where these requirements seemingly aren't met, but it is just an issue with the game reading you as airborne when you are not.